episode 5 of our favorite Christmas and Advent hymns podcast. Today I will be presenting the hymn, The First Nowell, and Father Keith will be presenting Lo, How a Rose Ere Blooming. The First Nowell is one of the first Christmas carols I learned to play on the piano as a kid. And I loved it. I was so proud of myself that I played it so many times that I memorized it. And I memorized it so well that even in July I could sit down and still play it from memory on the piano. So indeed, it is one of our most beloved Christmas carols. It's difficult, though, to determine the precise time and place of this carol's origins. It's an anonymous folk song that did not appear in print until 1833, and that was thanks to William Sandys' Christmas Carols, Ancient and Modern. Most sources typically date this carol from the 17th century and leave it at that. But there is another theory that suggests that this hymn may date from as early as the 13th or 14th century. And this was a time when medieval culture was springing to life. In medieval culture, it was popular to stage dramatizations of favorite Bible stories for celebrations. And these dramatizations were called miracle plays. And what better topic for a miracle play than the topic of Jesus' birth? The manner in which the verses of this carol are laid out are narrative and lend itself to dramatization. There is a huge cast of characters, the shepherds, the angels, and the wise men, and the baby Jesus himself. And this theory is one that I personally believe, that this hymn may have originated as a miracle play. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding the First Nowell is the spelling of Noel. The English form, which is the form printed in our hymnal, is spelled Nowell. But other versions of this hymn use the French spelling, which is Noel. It doesn't really matter because both versions originate from the Latin word natalis, meaning birth. The word Noel has been a familiar expression in Christmas carols since the Middle Ages to modern times.
Lo, How a Rose Ere Blooming. This German carol is based on Isaiah chapter 11 and the opening 2 chapters of Luke. It has its origin in Christian hymns from as early as the 8th century. The music originated in the 15th, but possibly even the 14th century. This harmonization that you'll hear today is beloved by choir members and singers and musicians everywhere. It was written by Michael Pretorius in 1609. Now, most all of our music, church music, popular music, exists for melodies and for rhythms. So think about, at Christmas time, the rolling melody of the Glorias of Angels We Have Heard on High, or maybe the intensity of the rhythm of the Carol of the Bells. Well, this hymn, in contrast, exists almost entirely for the harmony, the chords. The melody is not really very remarkable, and the rhythm is kind of static, but the chords, they're exquisite. That's the best word I can think of, exquisite. They're so exquisite that these chords have been sung exactly the same since Pretorius wrote them more than 400 years ago. They've been sung exactly the same, Christmas after Christmas, as we'll sing them this year.